I know this is random, but y'all, I just almost got the Holy Ghost just randomly saying something to my baby, okay? So she over here lifting up her arms and so on and so forth. And I'm like, hey, you smell a little bad, all right? But last night was kind of hot night, so I had woke up musty too. I had to take me a shower. Anyway, that's too much information. What I was coming to say was, I told her to go in the bathroom and wash up under her arms because she had already took a bath. It was just that she was musty and probably forgot deodorant. And Serenity is in the bathroom right now. So I'm like, hey, you go tell her to let you in. Usually I have them like not go in the bathroom with each other and so on and so forth. You go tell her to let you in. Okay, she walks down the hallway and I'm hearing do, 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 little pecks. And she's waiting for Serenity to say, come in. I yell out, I've already given you access. All you got to say is mama said. Then I start hearing God say, well, why don't you repeat what I tell you? No matter how it looks, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how weird it sounds, why don't you just repeat the promises that I have given to you? All you got to do is, and I'm not telling people to be crazy, okay? There are certain people that God has told you to go do something and you don't have the money to do that thing. You know you broke, okay? You know your credit score at a 400, 500, all right? You know that there are physical impossibilities, okay? But God works in the impossible, all right? So I come to let you know that God said, repeat what he says. Tell them my father said. Tell them God said, okay? And when you walk in there, they're going to start trembling before you even speak. They're going to identify the God in you. They're going to identify that power that you're coming in, all right? So they're going to be like, when Nehemiah was rebuilding the wall, because that's what I'm studying, God has been giving me Jeremiah 29:11, for he has a plan, and that's what it says on my wall, because I try to simplify it for the kids so they can understand it. And so Proverbs 3:5, lean not into your own understanding, all right? And so he had also been leading me to leadership, teaching me how to steward well what he's about to bring me into. I shouldn't have said that part. That's a secret. But anyway, I've been learning about Nehemiah and his leadership. And there was this prophet, Shemaiah, who kept on coming to try to stop him from building the wall. Okay, he came the first time and Nehemiah was like, hey, that ain't important. I'm going to keep on doing this. And then he came the second time trying to threaten the people. So Nehemiah made it to where the people had a tool in one hand and a weapon in the other, but the tool could have been used as a weapon too. So they had two tools, actually. All right. But in this world, people will say one is a weapon and one isn't. You know what I mean? Only because of what it is. But I believe they had two weapons in their hand. Anyway, so they came the second time trying to threaten them with violence. Oh, black people, listen. And I'm not trying to be racist. God is about to do a wealth transfer. This is what he's been telling me with that whole message. Okay, God is about to do a wealth transfer. And all that stuff that's going on where police are just randomly beating on people and police are trying to get back to that time. It's because they can feel, they can feel us getting powerful. There are some who have not realized the blessings that God has placed upon you. Okay? The blessings are already laid out for you. I'm going to get bashed for this one. A lot of things that y'all are calling bad assistance, okay? A lot of things that you guys are calling bad assistance, that is God giving you your peace. Okay, the government and other people, other races are making you feel bad for the blessings that God has given you so that you can have what he wants you to have, which is rest. Okay, work was given as a curse. All right, so if you are a child of God, you no longer live under that curse. Okay, so the things that you need, God will provide. And baby, I am living proof. I am living proof, and this ain't a lot. This ain't no mansion. This ain't no mansion. But I know that everything that I have has come from God. And I'm not just saying that, as a little thing just to say, literally, I ain't have money. Okay, literally, I had little. I remember one time I was on a bus in Jackson, and on this bus, I'm getting so excited, y'all. I'm getting so excited. This one's supposed to turn into that. But I remember this story has so many parts. It started off with me randomly getting a money order in the mail, and the money order was from Chicago. I'm like, Chicago? Why is it in Jackson, Tennessee? So I pop open the money order, which I didn't know it was a money order at the time. It said something like going to the water bill. The thing was, it was a person's name, and then it was like the water company, and the date on it was like a month or two before. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this never made it to where this person thought it had made it to. So I pop open the mail. I know that's illegal. I pop open the mail so that I can get more information. And so when I opened it, I noticed it was a money order. I start feeling bad. I'm like, dang, I wasn't trying to I thought it was just like a letter or something. You know what I mean? So I pop it open. I get the information of the lady who filled out the money order. I tried calling her. I couldn't find her. And then I end up calling the water bill place in Chicago. Well, Chicago's system was different than Jackson because it was like a whole bunch of stuff. A cake? Piece of cake? Yes, ma'am. It was a whole bunch of, and mind y'all business, this is snack breakfast. We have snack breakfast every now and then. So she can have cake. All right. So anyway, I end up checking to see the water bills company. Phone number, and I call them, and I, go through this whole process. Bad attitudes from people who don't understand. Why am I trying to call them if I don't live in Chicago? You know what I mean? So after an hour or so of struggle, they said, well, ma'am, we can't give you any information whether or not this bill has been paid, but we will make aware and make known to the customer where the money order went, because they could remember that particular situation. For some reason, the woman that I finally got transferred to actually could remember that particular situation. I think their water bill place was like District or something. I don't know. But anyway, I end up feeling good because it was my test of stop stealing. Before then, I was a thief. Okay, before that moment, I would steal. I would try to figure out how I could get that money order cashed. Okay. And so I was proud of me. I wrote it in my journal. I was like, yeah. And so I myself was going through a situation with my light bill at the time. Nobody knew. So I didn't have enough money for my light bill. And so I had been I was getting child support, and I was only getting $67 or I probably was getting $30-something a week, or probably not exactly what I was supposed to be getting. So for weeks and weeks and weeks, we were saving the money. We were not buying anything, because I had been I had been asking God for financial stewardship. At that time, I was like, how to organize money. I didn't really know the words, but for financial stewardship. And so I had been doing good. I had been saving up money. And so I had saved up $200, and I had enough for my bill. Don't y'all know, when I went to go and call my bill, I was getting ready to go take the money and put it on a card. Okay. Or no, it was on a card. So I was getting ready to, do something where I was going to leave to go do something, but I wanted to check to see how much the bill was before I got there, or something like that. And so I called, and when I called, it said, your balance is $0.00. I'm like, what? This is it's due on, and then they said the due date, which was already past due, and I had a pink slip in my Bible. The day that I got the pink slip, it was like my spirit was so at peace, and I didn't even open the bill. I just stuck it in my Bible, and I had been praying over it. So in the moment of me praying over that woman's money order had came to our house, okay? And so God ends up allowing my bill to be paid. And I'm like, hold on, I could be tripping. So I'm still holding on to the money. And when I ended up calling, I don't know what day that was, but I did not call the lady, I don't think, on that particular day. Or did I? I don't remember. My mind is short. But I ended up calling the office, because that was like a automated system. So I called the office. And she was like, yeah, your bill is paid. It says it's been paid since the 5th. I'm like, the 5th? It's like the dang on end of the month, y'all. I've been saving all of my child support the whole month, and my bill had been paid that whole time. Okay? And so I was excited because of the peace that I had when I got the bill. That was the first time I ever experienced peace unspeakable. That was the first time I felt the peace that was that surpassed understanding. That's what it was. I didn't understand why I wasn't stressed. I didn't understand why I wasn't calling people and crying about my bill, not having the money. I didn't know why I wasn't losing my mind, okay? It confused me. But I knew that the peace that I had did not come from me, okay? And so my idea was me and myself finna get on a bus and go shopping. You know what I mean? I'm like, God, this is a reward. We are about to go shopping. So what I did was I took like $60 out of the money and I end up, me and my son, we get on the bus. So while we're on this bus, the bus has while we're on this bus, there was the bus was like it's not a double decker. It has like the lower half and then you walk up and it has like a higher half all on kind of like one level type of thing. I don't know. It's not like a double decker in like China or nothing like that. But anyway, I get on this bus and I sit in the last seat. Oh, I did like this. In the last seat in the lower level, me and my son. And then I hadn't noticed, but there was someone behind me. I could feel the energy, but I did not pay attention to who it was. Okay, so, no, I'm lying. The lady on this particular bus, the lady gets on with a bag of pennies. And I had been seeing this lady and riding the bus in Jackson, Tennessee. It's kind of like your family when you have to ride the bus because everybody is usually always the same people on the bus. You may see one or two random faces, but when you're riding the bus, when that's your transportation, you become family with the people that you see. You know what I mean? So this lady I had seen all the time. She always was joyful. She always was happy. And she gets on the bus with this bag of pennies. And I'm like, okay, just looking at her, put her pennies in there and so on and so forth. And the bus driver was like, hey, y'all be patient. And I wasn't one of the ones that was like, oh, or nothing like that. You know what I mean? It was other people who said they had to go to work and so on and so forth, okay? And this message is deep. You know what I mean? You can take so much out of this message. But anyway, the woman had this bag of pennies and she was pouring them into the thing. And not out of my own heart did I say, oh, I'm going to give her $20. No, I hear God say, give her $20. By now, for some reason, I think the 60 was all I had. I think someone called and borrowed some because I posted the testimony on Facebook. So I think someone had borrowed some and so on and so forth. But I had posted the testimony about the bill on Facebook or whatever. And so I ended up just like having $60 left. And so I heard God say, give her $20. And I was headed to Five Below. I had this whole plan to make me an accent wall in my apartment. And I was like, yeah, this $60 is going to be more than enough for me to decorate this wall right here. And I'm going to be able to make it look fancy. You know what I mean? Because Five Below has some cheap but fancy things. And I had already counted up how many items I could get or whatever. And when God said 20, that knocked out 4 of my items. I was like, God, 4 items I can't get. Them Daydreams. I'm going to get mine with the 40. And so that's what I was saying. But I give the woman the $20. And I said, God told me to give you this. And she says, oh, no. Don't. And then I was like, nope. You taking it, even if you leave it on that seat, I'm giving it to you, because I was in the spirit of being obedience. This was also around about the time when I learned my obedience mattered, okay? My obedience to what it is that I hear. God says, no matter who believes me, no matter who thinks I'm crazy, my obedience matters to doing what it is that God desires for me to do. So I told her she has to take that 20. I can't take that 20 with me. She has to take it. And in my heart, I was like, I really want to take it back. You know what I mean? But I was obedient. And so I end up giving her the 20. And she starts telling me the story of how the job or something that she was working at, I really don't know if she had to quit or fired or there was an issue or what was going on. But no, ma'am. But that's what was going on with her life. So the $20 was like a blessing, you know what I mean? More than enough for her right now, being that she was just pouring out pennies for a bus fare that was like $1 for an adult, okay? $1.50 for an adult, or 25 or something. But anyway, this lady takes the 20, and soon after this lady takes the 20 and has got on the bus, boom, something hits us. We have a wreck, okay? And so nobody was hurt, but we had to stay there for precaution, okay? And so that particular bus couldn't move, but everyone that was on that bus that needed to get to different places in the city let the bus driver know, hey, I need to get to this place, I need to get to that place, and they called in the different buses to pick up the different groups. Well, we were headed to a part of town we had never gone to on the bus. It was the north side of town. This was the first time we had ever traveled to the north side of town on the bus. Probably the first time it was just on the bus was the first time, okay? And so we didn't really know the route, the route. And so we end up getting on that bus. And when we got on that bus, we were riding. I was talking to Dadrian, being honest with him, let him know, I ain't want to get that woman my $20, right? And we was just joking. And then this lady... And we weren't loud, okay? We were not loud. And in the end, I realized the lady had on headphones, so she didn't hear us. She couldn't have heard us talking. But we weren't even loud. We were like little giggling, whispering every now and then. And so I was like, I didn't want to get that woman my $20, But anyway, the lady taps me on my shoulder, and she leans down, and she says, "Are you spiritual?" And she didn't ask me if I believed in God. She said, "Are you spiritual?" And then she didn't even give me a chance to answer. While I was getting ready to say yeah, she said, "Don't worry about it." She reached down onto my shoulder and said, "Take this. God told me to give you this." Y'all, it was my $20. Within 10 minutes, God had given me back the $20 that I had gave to the woman on the other bus. And the woman that was on the other bus was not on the bus with us. Okay? So all I gotta say is, God is a good God. He has a plan, no matter how bad that plan may look, okay? He wants you to trust his plan and not your own plan, okay? Not the systems of the world, not how they say it's supposed to go, okay? Like, if you truly believe that he is the Alpha and Omega, if you truly believe that he is omnipotent and omnipresent, you know what I mean? If you truly believe these things, then you would understand what I am saying. The Spirit of the Lord activates. And when it activates the part in you to have faith. And it activates the part in whoever else. Because everyone has the Spirit of the Lord. Even if they chose to do evil. Okay? Even if they chose to do evil. That spirit came from one entity, which was God, okay? It's the person, the body, the flesh that causes you to change the spirit, okay? So if you believe that God is omnipresent, if you believe that God is all-knowing, then you too will believe that God will go into bank accounts. Hey, that God will run up into the real estate office, that God will come through on the car lot, okay? That God will that baby that ain't spoken, and that baby might be 5 or 6 years old, he'll cause that baby to speak. I've watched many of videos of the joy of an autistic child or some type of child with a a child who is nonverbal, a nonverbal child, and their mother experiencing the first time that they speak, okay? That they speak. And I'm hot, y'all, just because I'm hot from the inside out, okay? My house is not hot. It's me from the inside out. God is burning. Like, who said that? It's like a burning fire within my soul. That's what happened when I told my baby, I gave you access. All you got to do is say, Mama said. I love y'all. Y'all use those words. My father said, okay? Speak to the atmosphere. Speak to the things that God has told you. Don't be crazy out here trying to call things to you that don't belong. Because anything that's not supposed to be with you comes with chaos and confusion. But the Bible tells you, and I don't know the exact scripture, but the Bible tells you that the things that God gives to you comes with no sorrow. It comes with no sorrow, okay? So you will know if it's of God, because you will have that ultimate peace. Even when you lose your job, you're going to have that peace. Even when you lose your car, you're going to have that peace. Even when your kids showing out, you're going to have that peace. And then God is going to align everything for you because you stuck with him. Okay? And I meant stuck, but same thing. I love y'all, and y'all have an awesome day. 20 minutes in.